Hello, welcome back. We are in episode 2, season 1, episode 2 of The Ones Who Live. Ooh, which is available on AMC Plus and does not have audio description. I could continue to beleaguer that point over and over about the show, the franchise that I love the most, that does not love me back in this weird relationship that I'm in with it because I'm blind and I can't actually see The Walking Dead. I wasn't always blind. I was introduced to The Walking Dead as a sighted person, and I've loved it ever since. And now it's just inaccessible to me, and I want to have lots of conversations with everybody who has touched this show from the beginning, from Robert Kirkman to Gail Ann Hurd to every showrunner since. Please make your show accessible. Thank you. All of them, your entire universe accessible. You're you're up there with like Star Trek in terms of having fans. That's why when you go to like these random like comic cons, not just like San Diego Comic Con, but the other ones that they have all over the country, there's usually like a Walking Dead panel of random alumni who have been on The Walking Dead. Is because they know they can sustain it because it has fans. Well, some of those fans might not be able to see. The show did premiere a while ago, and people do lose vision. They also lose hearing. Things happen since with the longevity of your show. So you have to acknowledge the fact that you have a wide fan base. Anyway, what happened with this show? Michonne. This is Michonne's episode. This is where Michonne's been. She found people. I don't know. Okay. So the last thing I remember Michonne doing was, and this was all post sight loss. So this is, although I used to watch with friends who could see and they would tell me, and now they're not interested in these spinoffs. They don't have cable subscriptions anymore. They're not going to subscribe to AMC Plus. So now I'm just on my own. The last thing I remember her doing was that Virgil thing where Virgil had kind of lost his mind, and did she free people from that? Because it's alluded to, but I didn't think she did. I thought she set off on her own. But here we pick up spoilers, by the way. We pick up with the idea that she's sitting there, she's asking for like a horse. And the reminder is that she saved some of this community's people. These are new people, and then people, a new community, not like her old people. And she's on a journey to find Rick. And she tells them about the story, and some people really take to it, and some people take to her because they think she's a badass and she saved their lives, and that her community plays it really safe, and they think that they should be rescuing more people instead of just like leaving them out there to die, all that kind of stuff. So and Michonne seems to have not really like a well-described reason of why she knows where anything is, but she's just like, I believe it's over there. I feel it. We're going up here to Hunter's Pass, or I can't remember what the place of it is. And they're like, but haven't you heard about Hunter's Pass? It's a suicide mission. There's a migration of zombies. It's like, oh, they're migrating now? Then they go south for the winter? Like... Oh, they learned to avoid the snow. That whole episode with in the original series when they're all like frozen in the lake and stuff. The zombies were like, guys, we gotta go south for the winter next year. We don't want to get caught in this. So, so they're in the middle of a migration period, and there's one cool girl, I think girl, I don't know, woman, she's badass with weapons, a weapons badass, and I was like so into this character. This character was just like, let me craft you some shit, let me give you some weapons, and I was like, oh my god, this is my favorite new character in the show. She dies. I did say spoilers, by the way. She dies, and I was just like, fuck you. Like, I was just so hard. I was just like, I was so upset. I was like, this is the coolest character. This character is all about. I was like, I feel like this character in the original show would have done so well. I can see. I wanted them to like make it back to Alexandria, at the end and be like, "What's up, guys? I'm here to blow shit up." Like, what are we doing? I mean, I have never had such a connection instantly. I think Princess maybe was the last character that actually just even remotely piqued my interest. I wouldn't even say, um, yeah, there was a couple characters after that that were introduced where I was like, I don't know. Maybe Princess had a sort of moment where she just kind of comes on screen and you're kind of like, who is this, and why are they awesome? And this girl was the same way. I was like, who is this and why is she so awesome? And there were a couple other people that like followed along, and I was like, I feel like they're cannon fodder, but this one girl's gonna make it. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. And then she just gets like shot in the head. And I think Rick shot her in the head, which makes it even worse. So, yeah, just, uh, poor, she worked so hard to get in the show to Rick. I'm so conflicted. Of course, this is just what I'm picking up as a blind person. So somebody else may have shot her, but Rick was talking to Michonne like he was the only one around. Like, I think he's the only one that survived the helicopter crash. So I don't know what happened to Okafor, but we don't see him again. Somehow, the man who survives, the one who lives, Rick Grimes is the one who survives the helicopter crash. Anyway, yeah, so he gets, Michonne and him get to reunite, and he's immediately like telling her, because he knows how you know, the shit is getting real with the CRM and with Michonne, and him saying, you don't know me, pick a new name. You lose the sword. You were a part of a community a long time ago, but you were just out here and you stumbled upon and you thought you could help. And he's like telling her all this stuff. And Michonne's just like, what? What? Where's your hand? What is going on? But she follows him on it, and eventually she becomes Dana. And she goes into, she goes into the community. Of course, he forgot to mention the whole like 6 years a slave thing that these people do, where you have to work for 6 years before you're allowed inside. So, and Michonne sadly does not have a discernible skill set where she can get fast tracked like doctor. I have a feeling. I mean, I know this community says this whole like 6 years thing to before you get. I have a feeling if you go, I'm a brain surgeon, that they go, welcome, sir, welcome to our community. I mean, there are certain skills that you need, right? So, in the future. So, yeah, if you have one, I'm sure you get fast tracked. I'm sure it's not like, well, we're going to need you to do menial tasks for 6 years because we have this rule. Uh, you know, probably not. Anyway, and then finally Jadis shows up, and I guess Jadis has some sort of deal with Rick. And that's maybe why Rick hasn't mentioned Jadis yet. I don't know, it got really dumb at the end, and I was just like, this is stupid. But I was just like, this is I don't know what's happening here with Jadis and why she's so creepy. And she's like, I'll have to send people to kill everyone you know, including the ones I love. And I'm just like, oh, fuck you. I still need more explanation on Jadis. Like, I need a whole episode. I need a Jadis episode that explains how the fuck this community has rules about, like, not leaving. And she had developed her own trash community full of people that she was the leader. I feel like they just are throwing this storyline together. It feels that way because if you're not going to explain it, It's dumb. She inherently makes this plot dumb, and the less you explain it, the less you try to gaslight me into like believing that that's not what was happening, the worse it is. Because she was in a community of artists, and she was the leader. So obviously she'd been there a while. So, but she also had a radio for the CRM, and now the CRM's like, no one can leave. So then why did Jadis get to leave? Why? No, that should have been. We need that. We need answers to that. That means if that's not episode 3, this show is going down the sewer like super fast. It's getting flushed. It's just falling fast. And I just sat through an entire French show with Norman Reedus, uh, trying to, as a blind person who doesn't speak French, figure out what the French people were saying, with no audio description. And this show has this one plot point that it keeps dodging, and it's driving me absolutely insane. It's like, you can't keep doing this bullshit and being like, no one's allowed out except Jadis. She can do whatever she wants. I mean, she's Jade. Have you seen her? I mean, have you seen her art? Honestly, she's truly the best artist in the world. She's just amazing. Just an astounding artist. So of course, we sent her out in the world to find more artists to bring into the community, and she was developing an artist community in a pile of trash, and that didn't work out well. So she called it for a ride home, and we gave her a ride. And that's the story of Jadis. We don't even get that. Nothing. She's just walking around like she's a badass. And I'm like, people saved your life, girl. She's like, the deal does not include Michonne. And I'm like, the deal should include whoever. The only reason you're alive is because is because of the man that you're sitting there right now. He's had multiple opportunities to kill you and he didn't. So, why don't you be a little bit more grateful? Anyway, and you did kidnap him, by the way. So I don't really, I don't know what exactly he's supposed to be grateful to you about. You took him away from his kid. So anyway, here, we're there, we're everywhere, and whatever. Yeah, he should go back to his place, to his kids. RJ's his, right? Like, I know that he's been raising Shane and Lori's daughter, but isn't RJ his? Why does he never met? Why is he? Why is he always just like not name checking? Do you not have 2 kids? Who's RJ? Like, I know this whole kid thing is just really weird. Like, Aaron has a daughter that's not his, and it was the one that he found and adopted. But anyway, it's tracking the children of the Walking Dead is in itself a challenge. It's just so novel, worth of books. But I still want him to acknowledge Carl. I want that from Rick. I want him to be like, I still feel like Carl's with me. Carl. Something. I don't know. I feel like we're trying to also gaslight the fans into believing Carl never existed. Anyway, this is a long review. But this show isn't impressing me much. That don't impress me much. Even though I'm excited to see Michonne and Rick back after all these years. That was the best character that you introduced, and you killed her off. I don't know. I feel like if you had explained to her also that she probably would have picked up on what you were putting down and the importance of it, and then the 2 of them could have probably both gotten in fine. Anyway, just food for thought. But I'm going to give The Ones Who Live season 1, I don't know, probably only season, episode 2. I'm going to give it unwatchable, because it is unwatchable for blind people. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll be back next week with more Ones Who Live. And until then, see you guys on the other side.